how is it considered ethical for people to own so many houses? I'm just wondering how, as a Christian, this isn't seen as greed. Don't you know that buying up all these homes is what's causing the housing shortage?
Well, let's just start with not the spiritual part, but your economic understanding. That's not what's causing the housing shortage. Investors buying up houses is not causing the housing shortage, okay? Period. So you're just wrong.
For the uninitiated, me conservative personal finance guru Dave Ramsey, a free market warrior who still believes in and spreads the myth of meritocracy in America. Before we get to the rest of his answer, here's just a brief look into some of his beliefs.
And there's always a group of people who say you can't do it. And so the system has to change, and they're a victim, and they're entitled. And, you know, TikTok gives them a voice, or Instagram gives them a voice, or whatever, but it's always been that way. The truth is that this Gen Z generation and the millennials who caught a bunch of crap are excellent generations. What we're seeing with both of them is there is a segment of them that is very serious and very good with their money. They believe in it. They believe in saving. They believe in investing. That they believe in the free enterprise system. And then there's a segment of them that just sucks. They're just awful. I mean, their participation trophy, they live in their mother's basement, and they can't figure out why they can't buy a house because they don't work. The cancellation that they're all bragging about that doesn't work is the public service student loan forgiveness. And 98% of the people that apply for that so far have not gotten forgiveness.
Wow.
Only 2%. That's known as a scam. And yes, we are seeing this disparity between the haves and the have-nots getting wider and wider and wider, which traditionally you see as you see more and more government intervention in the economy. When you let the free market run and you leave it alone, this is a battle of ideas. When you let the free market run and leave it alone, it will find equilibrium, and it works to the advantage of most everyone when you do that. When you insert government in it and you say, I'm going to do price controls, I'm going to protect you from high grocery prices, it's simply not sustainable, and it causes more problems than not. All we got to do is go back and look at the mess of the supply chain in COVID and see that exact same thing unfolding there. And so if you want to help the little man, let CBS. The market run.
Now that you've gotten a taste of Ramsey's background and who he associates himself with, this insane take should be the least surprising thing you hear today.
I own, I don't even know, 15, 20 houses and a bunch of commercial real estate as well. How is that not greed? Because I don't own anything. I'm a Christian, and that means God owns it, and I'm managing it for him. So I guess you're calling God greedy now.
You heard it correctly. Instead of being honest with himself and his audience by admitting that he doesn't have a moral issue with profiting off of a basic human right like housing, he's hiding behind his religious beliefs to justify being a landlord. But wait, there's more.
Greg was like, well, Dave, why do you need so many houses? Why don't you just give all that extra money away?
I'm managing money for God. That's my job.
We'll let this realtor and TikToker take it from here. Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStromShow. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
I need to see the buyers' names on those deeds. Is it under GOD LLC? Listen, as a realtor, I have no problem what you believe, who you believe. If you as an individual have the financial means to buy investment properties, buy investment properties. When Dave acquired all those properties that he has, I'm pretty sure he did not think about GOD. That is the last thing he thought about. He was thinking about MONEY.
We couldn't have put it any better. Ramsey didn't buy his properties simply out of the goodness of his heart to give someone a place to live or a business to set up shop, but rather as an investment that he expected to receive a return on in the future. Otherwise, he could have just thrown that money into the stock market or back into his own business. Now let's see how Ramsey will try to dismiss pushback from critics.
If you make $38,000 a year, you're in the top 1% of income earners in the world. How are you not greedy? Because amounts don't create greed. Greed is a spirit. It is not an amount. And, if you want to be a communist, Just be a communist. Don't try to blame Christianity for it.
Notice how Ramsey never wonders why it's the case that someone with 3 bathrooms in their house or someone making $40,000 in the U.S. could be perceived as greedy compared to other people in the world. It all goes back to blaming failures of personal responsibility instead of the deliberately designed and systemic forces at work that have normalized these conditions globally. Ramsey thinks these weak examples are effective because he's unwilling to criticize the inherently exploitative nature of free market capitalism and come to terms with the reality that the entire system relies on oppressing one group of people to benefit those with the power.
If you want to be a socialist, just be a socialist. Don't try to blame Christianity for it. That's a form of heresy called Gnosticism that believes that the material is bad.
Now, you're probably wondering if Ramsey will apply the same logic as he did to himself, I don't know, hedge funds, real estate corporations, and much wealthier investors snatching up massive swaths of housing to help keep rent and prices high.
Because that is a thing going around, that these massive hedge funds or Blackstone, like all these, they're coming in and buying up.
But they don't have a soul.
That's right. Okay, so
hedge funds don't have a soul.
Yes. So because an individual investor, right, for the average person out there who has maybe 2 or 3 rental homes, right? They're on baby steps and they're doing it.
They're not causing the problem. But Blackstone, those guys are buying up houses. So that's true.
Is that affecting the housing market at all? Because that is.
It probably is to some extent, but not as much as TikTok says it is.
Yeah.
And there you have it. Corporations and hedge funds can't be greedy because they don't have a soul. Even though people, in Ramsey's mind, with souls, are the ones making the decisions to profit off of a basic human need and right. While there are other factors at play contributing to high housing costs like interest rates, costs of materials, labor shortages, etc., dismissing the low supply of affordable housing and the incentives for corporations and investors to hold onto unfulfilled and abandoned properties instead of renovating them and putting them back on the market does a major disservice to his audience and defends the financial interests of wealthy people just like him.
I've seen about 2.5 million woke and broke as a joke liberals responding to that video saying, Dave Ramsey's greedy, Dave Ramsey's greedy. Dave, you're so greedy. Why do you have 20 investment properties? Dave, why did you evict that single mother of 3 when she was 5 days late paying rent? She wasn't 5 days late paying Dave Ramsey. She was 5 days late paying God. If you millennials and you Gen Zers got off your cellular phones typing all day and you quit buying your $10 cup of coffee from Starbucks, you could have 20 investment properties too.
TikToker Josh Benson summed up Ramsey's whole shtick perfectly. To free market worshipers like him, there's nothing wrong with the world, just failures of individual people. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYTSports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.